Good evening, everyone. I am Shalame O Amphit. So this is the continuation of our reports. So 21st century children's literature focuses on the rise of the picture books. So here are the short story or history of picture books. The 1960s and 70s were a golden age for picture books. At the beginning of the 21st century, two minor trends in picture books market appeared. The first was picture book for adults, and the second one was picture books for storytelling, which target both individual families, organization, especially for young children. The second trend was the nationwide spread of book reading activities, which became popular when the year 2000 was declared National Year of Reading for Children. So these activities not only widened the readership for picture books but also affected the kinds of picture book that were published. Okay, picture books are very important for young children whose appreciation and interest level for surpass their reading ability. So in picture book, it is really important for children's learning, especially they are not really good in reading, but through picture books or through pictures, they can practice their visual ability. To read a picture books, the child reads the picture as adult. A reader reads the accompanying text. The story and illustrations are unified so a child may get the sense of the story through the picture alone. Yes, in picture book, a child can read alone without someone who is uh, storytelling the story. So by himself or herself, he can be able to understand the text through seeing the pictures. A picture book is a book whose content is expressed through its images. The story told with pictures has a language, its own visual language. So picture book is a book whose content expressed through its images. So it is wordless books because it is more on pictures, and of course those pictures has its own language. Another definition is a book in which the picture are designed to be integral part of the text. So in which pictures is the main character in those books, and a book in which text illustrations complements each other and work together, in which the text and the pictures working together to deliver the message to the audience. So next, a books in which the illustrations are as important as the words in telling the story. So in picture books, or I mean in other books like fairy tales, fables, so all those books are made from words. But here, the pictures illustrations is as important as the words, because through that picture the children can be able to identify what happened to the story or what is the story all about. Picture books are generally 30 pages long. In picture books, there are illustrations on every page or one of every pair of facing pages. So as you can see, I know all of us here can see picture books. So it is all the pages composed of pictures but small bird. Next is a book that essentially provides the child with visual experiences. It has a collective unity of storyline, theme, concept developed through the series of picture, of which books is comprised. Yes, this is help the child's improve visual experiences. So sometimes most of the students are good in visual and not in audio and even in listening. So visual, because you can see, you can be able to understand the text through pictures. And then it has also a storyline, so it is not all about pictures or what is the illustrations, but it has theme, concept, and development. Later we will know what are those themes. And next, also it is one for which children are intended potential audience. The book displays respect for children's understanding abilities and appreciation. So picture books, it is clear that it is intended only for children's, but there are some those for adults. And of course, in picture books, they respect the children's ability. Children's are not really good or are not a good reader, so picture book give them a chance to exercise their reading ability. So what are the characteristics of a picture book? It is usually 32 pages, pictures on almost every page, yes, and text is relatively brief. Yes, it is has a short or a brief text. Words and pictures shares the responsibility. So here are the most themes used in picture books: family stories, familiar everyday experiences like playing, going to somewhere and with friends. And next one is stories of the country or province and city. Weather and the seasons, example the rainy, about rain, about the sun. Next is concept books and realistic fanciful animal stories. In this part it is more an imagination, like which is the character most is the animals, and the next is humorous and fanciful and picture books of other lands. So here are examples of picture books, which is Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. This is by Mo Wilhelms, released by Disney Hyperion in 2003. It was Wilhelm's first book for children and received the Caldecott honor. The plot is about a bus driver who has to leave to ask the readers to not allow the pigeon to drive the bus. Okay, a pigeon bus driving aspiration help us to explore the responsibility to keep promises, persuasion, and the value of punishment. But the pigeon wants to have at least one ride, but the readers keep on telling him no. The pigeon stands for an immature child, which is he or she is trying to act like a responsible one or like what our parents do. So this pigeon trying to drive the bus, but the reader keeps saying no. Next is The Room on the Broom. It is by Julia Donaldson, 2001, which tells the story of kind witch and her cat who invite three other animals to join them traveling on her broomstick. So this is a short summary. It's about friendships, helping others, and teamwork. A witch and her cat fly around a broom and accidentally drop some of her things, but the other animals on the ground returns her items and they asked for a ride. And then the witch let them ride the broom. So they had a great friendship. So in this story, the authors use witch, and we know that witch is a bad person, but the authors here turns the witch into a good person. So why picture books? What are the benefits? So why picture books was published? Why it is really useful for children? So here are 11 benefits of picture books. First, in language. Picture books includes precise language ideal for rich vocabulary development. Many picture books includes high level of vocabulary and concepts. So in picture books they use basic English from beginners or like for primary school, and of course the picture books for adults they use more or high levels of vocabulary. Next one is models. Picture books provide a wide variety of models for students writings. Yes, because you can see words and you can see a writings, which is very easy for a child to adapt. Next, support for language learners. Early readers, picture books can provide a good deal of support for comprehensions. Yes, picture books supports comprehension because through that images you will be able to understand what happened to the story or what is the plot, what is the theme of the story, and of course what is the settings of the story. It supports English language learners. Next is picture books often offer top-notch illustrations that also provide context clues for readers. Yes, through that pictures you will be able to contextualize the story or give what is the main ideas of this story. Next one is language development. Rhyming and repetitive patterns that supports language developments are often found in picture books. Yes, in picture books, those words usually write it in a rhyming form, and it is repetitive pattern. It is repetitive pattern because they want a learner to familiarize or to understand the story all about. Next one is literary elements. Students are introduced to literary elements such as plot, characterization, setting, theme, and style. At the very early age, through picture books, you will be able to understand or to identify where is the plot of the story, and of course the characterization of the character. It's is he a good or a bad character, and of course the settings, because usually it is displaced in the picture where does the story happen. And next one is diverse genres. Diverse genres because picture books expose and introduce students to genres they may not typically read. Yes, it the students or the children are most interested in picture books because of the illustrations of colorful and interesting pictures. So it is unique, or it is very different from other genres. Next is the beautiful language combined with exceptional illustrations hook readers who often return again and again to read or to reread books or picture books. Yes, as we remember during our elementary, we have favorites books where it contains good pictures, and that will lead us to engage more on readings. Next is wide range of levels. While many picture books are written for young children, many are include themes suitable for intermediate and secondary students. So, picture books is written based on the levels of understanding. So, it is good for the intermediate or the middle schools, and this is for them to be ready for their future studies or abilities in reading. Next one is a picture book is good for storytelling because it nurtures a literary vocabulary and helps students understand the world, begin the next generation of storytellers by reading picture books. So as the time passed by, so we have this picture book, so that will remind us of what is happening before, and this picture book we can use it in the future generations. Next, it is good for snuggling. Okay, it's among a great benefits of picture books. Not much better reason. Sit closely with your favorite readers and get lost in fabulous picture books. Yes, indeed, picture books is good to make snug, or it is the best comfort for children's emotions or when they are alone. So picture books is really good for them. So that's all. Thank you for listening.